You're losing sales not because your offer is bad, but because you're missing the psychological triggers that make people want to say yes to you, right? I have worked with hundreds of coaches, consultants, service-based entrepreneurs, and I have heard this from my clients and also from people who book, discovery calls with me. Most coaches talk at their prospects, not with them, right? So their tone sounds off, their questions stay surface level, and they never help the client picture a better future. And here's the reality: sales is 90% psychology and 10% strategy. And let me break this down for you using three psychological triggers you're missing that's quietly killing your conversions, and I'll show you how to fix them using the exact style of communication that we use using a three-step methodology. Well, if you're new on my channel, go ahead, subscribe to my channel, like my video, and if you feel this is helpful, beneficial, feel free to share this with people who might be interested in this. All right, so the number one thing that I have seen in the coaching world and that's actually missing is the first psychological trigger is the emotional bridge, right? Now you might be thinking, okay, what exactly do you mean by the emotional bridge? And how can I exactly bridge this gap between where they are to where they really want to be? Okay, so let me just go ahead, share my screen, and I'll definitely explain how exactly, all right, how exactly this works for you. And this is going to be super helpful, super beneficial. Do let me know if you're able to see my screen. The first thing first, like I said, it's the tonality, the emotional bridge, right? See, you need to understand your words carry 7% of the message, but your tonality is what really matters. And that's the rest of 93%. Okay. So most of the entrepreneurs sound like they're too excited, like they really want to pitch their offers, or they're too flat, like they've said the same line like maybe 100 times. Okay, and both of this way, this tone, make people pull back. Okay, so in what I teach in my coaching program is exactly this: your tone should actually shift based on the emotion you want to trigger right away. All right, so there are three types of tones that I definitely want you to understand and emphasize, and you need to understand like what type of tone actually triggers a particular emotion in your ideal clients, whether you're having a conversation with them or whether you are on a sales call with them, right? So the first thing first is the curiosity tone. So you need to keep it light, upward inflection, and mostly like, okay, if you're asking a question, it has to come from a curious tone, right? So the second type of tone is empathy. It has like, when you're actually showing empathy to someone, even in a real life scenario, you won't be flat, you won't be excited, right? You're slower, you're softer, you go in that caring way, like you really want to empathize with whatever has happened, right? The third type of tone is certainty. That's confident, right? It lowers the inflection and also it is steady. That means you are 100% owning what you do. That's when you are 100% certain about how you do. Now, let me give you an example so that this can drive home a message and you should be able to understand what it is, right? So a wrong tone can really come across very pushy, where you can tell them like, hey, I can help you fix that problem with my program. You see, people would be like, oh, hold on, So the right tone could definitely be something like, can I ask you, what have you already tried to fix that? You see what this is doing? It's gentle, it's curious, and it's a rising tone where you say like, can I ask you, what have you already tried to fix that sleeping problem, relationship problem, weight loss problem, whatever it is, right? So because when your tonality, when you actually understand how to how to really talk in a way that it conveys the right message to your audience, that's when people would more feel like you get them, you hear them, right? So let me give you another example. Okay, few people I have seen on the call, they're like, you should definitely join this has worked for so many people, I'm sure this is going to work for you. What is this doing? This is too straight, this is too salesy, this is too pushy, right? What if you ask a question instead, something like, Would you be open to exploring a different way that might actually feel easier for you right now? What are you doing? It's inviting, it's neutral. And when you ask people like, would you be open to exploring a different way that has been working for me as well as for my clients? And this can make your life 10 times more easier for you. It's like, yeah, why not? You see, the instant reply people have is, yes, why not? So your tone either opens the door or it shuts the door. Now, the choice is definitely yours. Okay. So now let's move on to the second one. The second one here is the questions. The way you ask questions, all right, it totally determines how your prospect is perceiving what you do and how you do and how you can help them, correct? So most people ask information-based questions that makes people like that makes your prospect think logical, okay? But you need to understand people don't buy logically, they buy emotionally, and later they justify why they got this, correct? So a few of the examples of surface level questions as soon as you start the call is, all right, tell me, what do you do? How long have you been in the business? What's your goal for this year? Now here is something. You see how direct it is? Yeah, it's surface level. It's not going to get you the answers that you are actually looking for, because these questions don't touch any emotions in your ideal clients. Now, here is how you can turn them into an emotionally driven question. So the first phase that I always tell, is all about the discovery phase. So in the discovery phase, it's really all about discovering where your ideal client is right now, right? So you can ask something like, when did you first start feeling that your leads slowed down? When did you first start feeling that you are, you are emotionally draining yourself? When did you first start feeling that your kids have started ignoring you? What are you doing this? This is triggering a reflection, right? So when people reflect on, okay, when was this? When did this happen? These are the questions that can actually help them give you a proper context of why, when, how it started. Does that make sense? Now, second could also be problem awareness, right? Now, how do you think that this is affecting your confidence right now? Right? So you're triggering an emotion in them where you're asking questions like, how is that this is affecting your confidence right now? How is that this is affecting your business right now? Right? How is that this is affecting, the relationship that you have with your spouse, your partner, or whatever it is, correct? So what people do is, once you have discovered the problem, now we want to get them into the problem aware, right? So that you kind of trigger the emotions in them and they speak about it. Now, the next is the consequence, right? Now, what about this? Now, you see the way we are shifting here, the discovery questions, the problem aware questions, and then the consequence questions, right? So what happens if that problem does not change for the next 3 months or 6 months? Where do you see yourself if nothing changes for you in the next 3 months, 6 months, or an year? Now, what this does, this triggers an urgency. Now, people would be like, okay, I mean, I don't see that anything would change. I don't think so. I would make any difference. It makes any difference. I will be in the same situation. So what are they doing now? They are acknowledging, the consequences of staying stuck in the same old pattern of what they are already living in. But what are you doing? Rather than asking surface level questions, you are triggering a certain emotion in them, right? Now you move to the future pacing. Now, the future pacing could be something like, how would it feel like if you had a steady flow of clients reaching out to you every single week? Right? What does this do? This ignites a desire in them. How would you feel like in the next 6 months if you are able to fit in the wedding gown? How would it feel like your husband is going to ask you for a date night after maybe an year? Right? So these questions can be used in any niche. And when you understand how to trigger a certain desire on your sales call, that's when people would never feel like you have pushed them, you have forced them, right? So you're not asking questions to collect information. right? Note this down. You are asking questions to guide them into self-realization. And that's when the trust factor builds faster than you can ever imagine. All right. So if this is good, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let's move on to the next part. The next part is the future vision. All right. Now, what does a future vision do? This particular trigger, it triggers an emotion that creates an action, right? So most sales conversations end right after the pain is discovered. That's like, no, 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 no. It's a big mistake, right? Pain only freezes people. You have to show them what life looks like after the transformation, and this is called as future pacing. So example, so yeah, that's the problem, my program can help you. Oh my god, never ever do that. I don't understand, this is a problem, I can help you, my program can help you. You are not going to get a client if you do that, right? You need to take them into their future self, like already have them visualize, envision what their life looks like. So something like, imagine 3 months from now, you're getting inquiries every single day. You're not chasing leads, but clients are sending messages. They are choosing to work with you rather than you chasing them. How does that feel? Oh my God, that's been my dream. I want that to happen. Right? I have had clients, trust me, who have said this to me. All right. I really have had clients who have said this to me. And this really, really, really works very well if you exactly know how to do a particular thing in a particular way. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to help them visualize or even understand. So now what you're doing is your brain actually starts connecting to a particular emotion. And what is that emotion? Their brain is connecting to the emotion where that feels like, all right, so this is the thing, and let's figure out how I can help you with this, and definitely I can help you with this, right? So this is exactly what is needed and what is missing right now on your sales calls. And if you feel like, okay, if you are able to take your prospects, okay, from where they are to where they really want to be, so that they can walk out of fear into a vision, this is the actual goal, right? You need to master these three triggers: the tonality, the emotional questions, as well as the future vision, so that you don't come across salesy, pushy. You will sound more human. And this is exactly what we do every single week in our sales rehearsal calls. And if you really want to understand how to implement these psychological triggers so that you are able to book more calls, have more conversations, and also sign up more clients, send me a message. I'm going to drop the link of any of my social media here below in the description of this video. And even if you feel like you want to book a call so that you want my help, in case you want my help, I would be happy to help. And if this video has been helpful, do share your comments in the, do share your comments, and also like and subscribe to my channel so that you will be notified as soon as we update any other video. All right. I'll see you in my next one. Bye-bye.